me out because I feel like we're actually live before it says we're live.
We probably are. There's probably like a few seconds.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. Hi. Oh, Sarah already with a hi in the chat.
Oh, hello.
Hey,
Hey,
today, guys.
happy Earth Day.
Oh, it is Earth Day. That's
Rebecca
right.
calling
Does
in
that
from
mean we should
Kansas
shut our
City.
computers off for the rest of the day?
I think so.
No, I don't think so.
Eric, come on, live a little, you know? I think you should.
Who's in everyone that wants to say no to their computers and phones for the rest of the day, say I in the chat.
Oh, happy birthday to Stephanie's dog. Everyone wants to work today. Carmen doesn't want to work. Carmen, you're already taking Friday off. I think
You know
that's
what?
enough.
I thought I was going to, but there's no way. There's no
Oh, look,
way.
everybody's agreeing with me now. See?
Oh,
All
they're
right.
doing the wrong kind of I. It's an olden days I. It's AYE, guys. Thank you, Lizette. Get with the program, people.
This is my Captain Hook hand. I'm not funny. It's okay. It's anyways. Hey everybody. It's so great to have you all in the chat. I'm tearing up. Why am I tearing up?
Okay, I'm supposed to host this thing,
Yeah.
Pearo.
I know. I just started because you were like not doing anything. So
It's hard to get a word in edgewise over here. Okay, welcome everybody. This is the Content Power Hour with the Slate Marketing Team. Usually we do these with Slate customers to show how our customers are using Slate every day. We thought it would be a really fun one actually just to bring ourselves on because we are avid Slate users. We are a social content team promoting a social content editing tool, editing social content with that tool to post that content on social media. So that is our lives every day. We love the tool. Obviously, we advocate for the tool, and we thought it would be helpful to show just some of our few favorite features and workflows in how we're using Slate in our day-to-day content creation process. So the kind of run a show for this chat is I'm going to give you just a super, super high level overview on what Slate is, where we kind of fit in the ecosystem of creative tools. And then we're going to go around the room and each one of the C's is going to show one of their favorite features within Slate and how they use it. And then I am going to show some never before seen features to the public that we are going to be releasing soon. And yeah, get your feedback on what's coming next. Throughout the call, please ask questions in the chat. We will answer those in real time. We're not gonna kind of wait till the end. So yeah, feel free to ask questions. This is meant to be a conversation. Christina Pearo is gonna pop up like a poll and some talk with us, call to action buttons. So if you do want to set up a meeting with us to talk more about Slate, you'll have your opportunity to do that right here on this chat. If you don't, just sit back, drink your coffee, hang out. You don't have to talk. This is meant to be passive. This is meant to be active as much as you want. But yeah, this is kind of our chance as a team to show off how we use the tool that we promote every day.
And the recording will be sent to you if you feel like you want to send it over to anybody. So
yep.
We'll be in your inbox tomorrow.
Perfect. Yes, exactly. Cool. So anything else before I dive in?
That's it. Ask your questions while we're going, folks. We're here.
Amazing. Cool. So Slate, we are the creative home for social media teams. We're trying to be the place where you can manage all your media, you can edit all of your content, you can collaborate with your team, and all of your content and creative output comes from one source. One place that is brand friendly, but also very easy and simple to use. This is kind of where we sit in the ecosystem of creative tools, right? We firmly believe you shouldn't need to be switching between, 4 different apps to make one post. And we've all lived this to some extent in our different roles being social media managers, either settling for sort of individual creative tools on our phones that aren't like team friendly, they aren't brand friendly, but they're fast and easy to use. So we have to use those, or we end up kind of struggling with some of the pro tools and, our designers are giving us Figma links or PSD files that we have to kind of get dangerous with learning those tools, and they are just not made for, the day-to-day speed and nimbleness of social media. We kind of sit in that middle ground where we're built for teams, we're built for brands, but we're also built for social content. So we're as kind of streamlined and easy to use as, a tool built for consumers and influencers, but as powerful in your brand customization and collaboration as, a more enterprise editing tool. And this is kind of just a high level look at like what we bring together in Slate, right? It's media and asset management, kind of a dam for social teams. It's totally controlled by your brand and your style guide assets. So everything like your caption presets, your colors, your end cards, your lower thirds are all set and controlled by your brand. And then it's a streamlined editing platform, video first, but also design that you could now, which we'll preview soon, collaborate with your team on, similar to sort of Frame.io like collaboration. So we're kind of bringing all those parts together into one creation platform for social teams. Cool. So I'm going to stop talking, and I think I'm going to pass it over to Christina Pearo. Are you going to be the first to share?
Oh my God. Me? Sure. I can go first. We do also have somebody in the waiting room. So also,
maybe I should go first.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe we should let Connor come on. And
let me
surprise guest
that Christina just gave away, but it's okay. We forgive her.
There he is.
There he is. Hi, Connor.
Hi, friends. I'm adding to the C's. I'm number 4.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Yes.
We've been actually trying to like do a bit of like a petition to get Eric to change his name to start with a C because it's just not really vibing with the rest of us, and it's he sticks out like a sore thumb. We don't like it. Bad for team morale.
The energy is really weird in here, Eric. You gotta go.
Yeah. Sure we really appreciate it.
Eric has something.
Okay, but let's get into it on my segment, because we're all talking about our favorite features over here. I think, Eric, you just did a really great job at walking through the platform. You kind of stole half the things that I want to talk about, so that's great. But I want to highlight again that the biggest differentiator between Slate and every other app out there is that the thing that made me love Slate the most is around brand consistency, because that kind of helps me with the entire job, right? So I'm going to share my screen. I've never shared my screen on here before, so if you guys start seeing things that you shouldn't be seeing, close your eyes, I
was just saying how I had a really bad screen share mishap a couple months back.
Yeah, I'm really petrified that I would share a text or something that you're going to be reading. All right, so this is our entire brand hub, and with these webinars, whenever we walk through the product, I always feel like it turns into this whole demo without it actually being practical. So I want to give you guys a practical example that I have done. Can you guys still hear me? Because I can't see you guys anymore. Okay, great. So as I mentioned, we're the tool that keeps everything consistent, right? So recently, a couple weeks ago, I ran a creator campaign. It was the Creator Face-Off Challenge. A little backstory there is that Slate had just recently had a rebrand. What you guys are seeing in here is all of our new look and feel. So we're like, oh, we kind of want to promote this, as most brands do. Carmen was like, absolutely not. You guys, we're not doing a rebrand campaign. That is the ugliest thing that you could do. So we kind of went a little meta with it, where we're like, all right, let's kind of package this up a bit. And we do a rebrand where we lean into creators to kind of create rebrand assets for us, but then they do it inside Slate. So it was a product demo of a product demo, basically, more or less, right? So very meta. And it was the perfect test to kind of showcase around my favorite part, which is, how do we keep up with brand consistency? Because outside of just your team alone, when you're working with creators or freelancers, anybody can come inside of Slate and really jump on board and create content, and they can do it and keep everything, the look and feel of your brand. And there's no of that back and forth. And can you move this logo because it's not locked right? Are you using the right color? That's pretty exhausting. So let me just walk through. I'm going to click through some stuff. Can you guys still see this? Can somebody verify? Yeah. Thank you so much, because I don't see anybody on screen. So this is very weird for me. So, quickly going through, you have your collections, that everything this is set up by your team. You can set up your color, your typography, all of your presets and everything like that. There's the graphics that you want. This is something that Eric can talk about later. So you can really get nitty gritty with what it is that you want your style to look based on your brand guidelines. So where are you guys? This is really weird that I can't see. Whoa.
I promise you're here. We're here. We're
I
here.
don't know where you're at. Wait, I don't know where you guys are.
Follow my voice.
No, genuinely, you guys are gone. I don't.
Oh, like you
wait.
can't come back.
No, I can't come. I'm back
Okay.
now. I see you guys. Wow, this is the most unhinged thing.
She's
Okay,
lost forever.
so yeah, can you guys see that screen or no?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the practical thing that I want to show you guys. So we challenge all of our creators to come inside of Slate and to build content. And the thing is, like, they were building content that was still on brand for Slate, so that if we were to put it on our Slate brand channel, you couldn't tell the difference that it was one of us creating it or one of the creators. And our special guest Connor here is one of our creators who did it. And I just want to show you guys a quick peek of his video. You guys can still see this, right?
Yep.
Of Connor's video.
The audio, though, may
Oh,
be hearing.
not
It's
the
fine. You can just scrub through it. I don't want to.
You're like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be here listening to my own.
Yeah, come on.
Right. So just like to quickly scrub through it. Basically, you know, he goes in and creates the brand assets, but he talks about Slate in so many different ways of how he jumped on. And to preface, Connor is a professional person. He owns a production company. He is like, he knows every single tool out there, which is why I'm glad to have him here today, because I do want to ask him a couple of questions. Wow, you guys are on my LinkedIn. Let me stop. This is the most unhinged thing. I'm so sorry. But Connor, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Everybody, officially, you are one of our creators. I do have some questions for you, but do you want to quickly introduce yourself? Because my intro of you was bad.
It was wonderful. I mean, it was in between the millennial struggle of "Can you see my screen?" which I really appreciated. But anyway, my name's Connor. I run a production company for software ads and product launches, and I actually started as an editor when I was 15. So I've been editing for like 15 years. I come with a different perspective. I was in-house at like on a video team where a lot of the times I was like giving, assets to my head of brand, and he would be like, "This is off brand." And so sometimes it would have been really nice to have Slate.
So you live through the pain that we're trying to solve.
Yeah. And I had people giving videos to me and I had to tell them it was off brand. So this is
so you live
a very appropriate pain point. Yeah.
Yes. Perfect. So I guess then my first question for you, Connor, is obviously, like you just mentioned, you worked with a lot of brands, and that means you probably have been given a ton of PDFs and guidelines of brand stylistics and everything like that. So one of my first questions for you is, when you opened Slate and kind of came on, because I didn't do any demos with you. I didn't walk through anything. I didn't send you any materials. I just said, here's the keys to the kingdom. Come on in. What were your first impressions?
Well, first of all, brand PDF, like brand guide PDFs, are some of the bulkiest materials that we have to process at our company. We have like a whole process for it now because it's just, there's been a lot of mishaps there. But it was very easy with Slate. You know, if you actually watch my video, I think step 2, I talk about ideation. It was actually just me scrolling through the brand hub to get an idea of like what the vibe was visually. You guys had music in there too, which was really helpful. A lot of times as an agency, we're given like an example video. We're like, oh my God, Anthropic just like did this ad. We want to do something exactly like it. I'm like, all right, well, great. But you're not Anthropic. So let's figure out like who you are. And that stumps a lot of people. And so it didn't stump you all. I didn't even have to get briefed. I could just go through the brand hub and kind of understand graphically what the vibe was. I landed on this like Icelandic jungle nighttime kind of aurora borealis thing. And it seemed like it was on target simply just by looking through the brand hub. And so my experience was great. I wish I could onboard everyone through the Slate brand hub. This is like, upload your assets here.
Yeah, we are also going to start adding more stickers of ourselves in there too. So as anybody
you guys like cutouts?
Yeah, you know, different facial expressions to really bring some vibrance to the content. But that actually brings me to another question that I had then, because I feel like part of the challenge too, when we as social media managers hear, you know, oh, things need to stay consistent, they need to stay on brand, we almost feel allergic to it because it's like, it feels really restricting. It feels like an ad. It feels just kind of gross. I guess from your perspective, like with the guidelines baked in, you know, you've done a lot of promotional ads and everything like that. I guess my question here is like, do you feel it would be too restrictive when it's like, when you're jumping into you know, our brand hub and seeing all the assets there, because I'm going to stop right there. Because
Okay. I'm already going to say no. I think it will depend on the brand hub, though. I think putting in the week or two sprint of work to get all of the assets up to the brand hub is going to be the keys to success. Like, you all had, I don't even know, like 96 different graphics I could choose from, 7 different font types that I could choose from, all very with fun names, like Carmen's Evil Font from Hell or something. I don't remember what it was. I think that was the one I ended up using.
So classic.
Yeah.
Classic.
It was so it was kind of like a little bit of a playground, which made staying on brand a lot of fun, because I have memories of being a junior producer in-house and really experimenting and having a good time with like this video edit. And then I give it to my head of brand and he's like, this is not our Sonic brand. And I'm like, what the hell is a Sonic brand? And so we created a video library out of that. But I think it just reduces that friction. And like, I don't know, for me, I felt like I could be creative without bounds, as opposed to submitting something to the Slate gods that be and being like,
well, and from our side too, Connor, which I don't think like from the creator side, you guys, you know, get access to whatever you guys want to, like we allow, I guess, in a way, because from our side, we can lock things as they come. Like, so we like to call it freedom within the frameworks, whereas we set that framework in the beginning.
Yes.
So like, you know, whatever fonts you use, whatever stylistics of typography, or let's say if you are creating a reel, I could be really specific and say, if you're using this template, like the text box will lock in place and you're only allowed to change the name. You can't change the color, you can't change the width of it. So it's very specific when it comes to that. But you know, obviously with this, like,
by the way, this is like a larger philosophical thing, which is just like a belief of mine. I think structure actually frees up creativity. I think if you give people, in this case, guardrails, but they're not very strict guardrails, it's just like stylistic and design guardrails.
Yes.
It helps so much. I'm a firm believer. I make video ads for a living. Like, comedy ads is one of our most common products, and you can go totally off the rails with that ish. And the way that we avoid doing that is we have structures. Like, we have outlines that we know work, and then you build on those outlines all the creative zany stuff that you want to do. At least points to a pain point and a feature and a benefit. And so this kind of felt like that, where I was like, the brief for that video that I made for you all was so loose. It was like, just make a rebrand video in Slate and surprise us. But we had the pre-existing structure of the brand hub. And so I was able to get creative within a structure, within a boundary. It wasn't like the amount of options wasn't overwhelming. It was like, I want to work within like the colors and the palettes that they've given me. So as an artist, it's just really nice when that's clear to me.
I always get a bit of a decision paralysis sometimes when there's just too much. Like when I used to use CapCut a lot, and I would go through all the sound, I'm like, there are hundreds of sounds for whooshing. Which one do I use? So it was nice to kind of like, you know, have that list.
CapCut overstimulates me. I don't like that.
Yeah, it's a lot. But honestly, Connor, this was so great. Thank you I know you have a really busy day. Thank you for taking time out to even like coming to this. It was last minute, by the way. I like practically was like, Connor, please, tomorrow.
Yeah, I got a DM yesterday. No problem. And if anyone has any questions in the audience, feel free to just reach out on LinkedIn. I'll give you my unbiased, unfiltered opinion. I was a big fan of Slate, and that was really fun.
And if you guys want to vote for him, that's
why he's really here. He's like, I'm here, but also vote for me, because
vote for him. There's a crazy prize, so you want to win.
I've like texted my high school friends who I haven't talked to in years and been like, hey, could you guys just go onto this website and vote?
Yes.
So, yeah.
Really appreciate you. Well, thank you so much, Connor, for being here.
No worries. See you all.
Cool. That was a fun little testimonial. Loved it.
That was great.
Guys, now's your turn.
Me?
It's nice having guests on who don't roast me.
Yeah.
It's nice to have guests on that you didn't expect the guest to be on, because it was just us originally.
For context, everyone on this chat, Eric got roasted really hard during our last Social Club webinar. So
they don't need the context.
I think we need to see the video.
I think in general, too, you just get roasted by us a lot. Like, it's more of a weekly thing internally, and then you don't need it externally.
Yeah, it's definitely the culture here.
Yeah.
Well, Yeah. Okay. I can go next. Okay. So carousels are having, well, they've always really had their moment, but I just recently read this kind of reel, this carousel reel about how reels are performing really well, but carousels kind of like last longer in the feed. They have higher saves, longer time spent on carousels. So I actually have been getting, whoa, everyone disappeared. Okay. It's just me on screen. Where did everybody go? This is so ridiculous. It's just me, but hi everybody. Anyways, as I was saying,
I thought I would give you the floor.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay, goodbye.
Anyways, carousels have been something that I've been really getting into and really enjoying on Slate. So I wanted to show you a little behind the scenes of a carousel that I was making recently and how I've really enjoyed doing that. So, okay, here I am. This is a carousel I was working on from our happy hour that we had in March, I believe. This is kind of the completed product, but I kind of wanted to dig in here. I'm just going to confirm everyone is seeing this. Hold on. Yes. Okay. See, Christina, I just switch back and forth between tabs. It's very easy to navigate contrast. Anyways, I just wanted to take the moment to roast her. But this is a carousel I worked on. These are some quotable moments that I pulled from our panel session with, excuse me, with Tamika, with Gabe Gomez, with Jack Westerkamp. And I really wanted to make this like a really dynamic carousel. So as you can see, you can pick from here when you're going into creating content. So I'll actually just go back to show you how it looks from the beginning. You can create new, and then it'll take you to your empty canvas over here. And from there, what you can do is you can actually choose between a variety of ratios, or you can choose like Instagram, TikTok, carousel, whatever. So I went into carousel, it gives you some options. I wanted a classic 4x5 slide. So that's what I was working on. And from here, you have, like Connor was saying earlier, a variety of things to work with in the framework, but you can still be creative. So from here, I chose like a background color. I'm going to create a carousel with you live right now, just so you guys can see how it works. And then, you can pull things in from your media hub. This is me on vacation, LOL, whatever. I'm just going to use this because it's in my folder right now. You have like a ton of like variety for what you can do with it, but I want to do some background removal here. I'm going to click that remove background button. Once it kind of functions, maybe I'm not clear enough right now. Hold on. Anyways, once it does remove a background, maybe this is a better option for me to show you. This is a carousel I worked on previously, and it's preparing the cutout. So what it does, it actually prepares the cutout, and then you can go in and add various presets we have. We have fun presets. We have a lot of presets because we recently worked with some UGC creators. We had Alyssa from IKEA who created her sexy preset. So I'm going to use this one. And I'm going to call this carousel Fun with Tina. You can start it off like that. And I kind of want it to overlap a little bit. I want my hand to go over here. Maybe I want some outlines, which is a really fun thing to do. There's LUTs now. We just received LUTs, so that's pretty fun. This is a border radius if you're kind of looking for the actual full square or rectangle shape. But what you can do here is a lot of other things. Like, I don't know if we have any LUTs loaded into here right now, but Christina had loaded in a LUT earlier today. So if you have like a LUT that really you want to work for all of your photos, you can do that as well. And yeah, it's just really fun to go through and start curating your content. So I'm going to go back and show you what I did with this one. Over here, I preloaded some elements. So I got a picture of Tamika, of Gabe, of obviously Jack, and I outlined them and I kind of like made it overlap into various sections. And then when you go to export it, what it does is it actually exports it in PDF files. So like you will actually get 5 different images in a PDF file, and then you can upload it directly to LinkedIn, because a lot of people on LinkedIn are using carousels as well. A lot of B2B folks. So yeah, anyways, that's kind of like the overview of carousels. I've been having so much fun with them and creating them. A lot of these are brand elements that were already loaded into our platform. Like I said, all the assets and everything that you could ever need are already here. So it's easy to just kind of add and pull and design as you go. But once, like Connor said earlier, all within the brand framework and being able to be creative. So that is my favorite feature at the moment, and I wanted to show you all how it worked. Cool. That is my spiel. Did I go over 5 minutes? I don't know. Everyone come back. Come back. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Yay. Okay, Carmen's turn.
Wait, we did have a question in the audience.
Oh, we do.
Yeah, we have two. So one is if we can export them as JPEGs and PNGs, which we can.
Yes.
And also, can you show us the published version of what it looks like?
Oh, yes. Okay. So Carmen can go and I can show you at the end of the call because I don't think I published it on LinkedIn at the moment. But what I will do is I will download it and pull up the PDF so you could see me go through it. So just give me a second here while Carmen, maybe you can start.
Okay, it's super cute. You've reminded me that you're a much better designer than I am. I was like genuinely like, whoa, that's like
Really good,
really
eh?
slick.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not
Carmen, you
controlling the
go,
slides. Eric, do you want to pull up my
it's
slide?
so on brand.
Whoa. Okay, get these other losers off the screen. Okay, thank you. What? Okay. I was convinced that Christina Lee was gonna do something really creative with her slides. So I was like, I gotta prepare something. I don't want to be like the dead weight. So this is a little bit about me. I hope you get that I'm the owner of the house joke reference. I also did this really nice, I don't think it's an acronym, but anyways, a little bit about me. Cool, awesome, rad, modest, engineer of influence, not annoying. Um, Also, peep that little message in the orange. Anyways, I'm going to talk to you about shortcuts. So I, I am not going to pay attention to the chat because I can't. Here's the thing: I can't pay attention to like having to run the slides, having to look at the chat, and sound coherent. So I'm just going to focus on talking. Pearo, do you want to put my screen share up? I'm going to talk through it. I think as I talk. Wait, do you have a message for me, Pearo?
Oh,
No.
wait, sorry, I muted myself and unmuted. Yes, let me share the
Okay.
screen share that you sent me.
So I'm going to talk through shortcuts. I've made a little screen share because I wanted to film it ahead of time because again, I don't think I could demo this and talk at the same time. But basically, I lead social strategy here, but I also am very much in the weeds of like the day-to-day editing content for our Slate accounts and my personal account. So I'm probably editing something like 10-ish pieces of content per week in Slate with a mixture of video and then static images. And as you probably know, if you're attending this event, we run several webinars each month, and we've got our social club. Then we have our content power hour, which is a little more product focused. But ultimately, we end up with some pretty long form raw footage. So footage that might be verging on about an hour, and then I like using shortcuts to turn it into social ready clips. I also come from a B2B background. So in B2B, it's very common to have podcasts, webinars, conferences where you have very long footage and you need to turn it into social content relatively quickly. And if you've ever been a part of a webinar or gone to a conference, like you don't want to have to watch 2 to 3 hours of footage again, or even just an hour of footage. It's a lot. It's really inefficient. So what you do, the general sort of workflow here is that.
Do you want me to play the video?
Yeah, it's like it's not going to correspond exactly to what I probably won't be totally coordinated, but it's giving you a sense. This was me creating a shortcut. So basically, you start by uploading your file, and then it's like Slate's platform will analyze it, and you can see there's like my little analyze video. There's like a little progress bar there. But basically what it's going to do is it's going to pull themes and then isolate individual moments. So the themes I find pretty helpful because it's actually doing a little bit of like the interpretation work for you, where it's like, you can see on this one, it says like, oh, we talked about content strategy and we had certain like scroll stoppers. It also breaks down moments by name of the people who spoke. So this is particularly helpful because, Eric likes it when I make a clip of him sounding kind of smart. And so I usually click on Eric's name and then I find a moment that looks good. And then this part of the video, you can see what it's doing is like, I isolate a moment. It shows me the transcript, like in the green there, it's showing me what part of the webinar it's isolating. And I'm basically like deciding, do I want to include all of these sentences? Do I want to shorten it a bit? In this example, what I did was I actually cut one of the sentences from the beginning of the clip, and then I added a couple more at the tail end because I thought that it was, those were the pieces of the clip that I wanted to include. And then what it does is you choose to edit clip, or you can edit multiple clips. So sometimes I'll do like a collection of maybe like 2 or 3 clips next to each other, and then it brings it into our editing timeline. So right now, this is showing you, this is me in our editing timeline, and I'm trying to put a few more finishing touches on things. I find what the AI does is it brings me like 90% of the way there. I don't have to watch through the footage. And then I get to do things like I customize how I want my captions to look, or if I want it to be a 2-person caption. I always put on a text hook at the beginning. You'll see me do that here. Like I set it to about 10 seconds. What were some other things I did with this one? I think that I went and also did an outro animation, which is something we have preloaded into our brand hub at Slate. So I really like that because, I thought Christina was nodding along with me, but it's actually just Christina in the screen share was nodding along. But so yeah, I ended up adding an outro, and all of the things that I'm adding into my video in this sort of like the 10% that I take it, or like the 10% that I do after the AI, everything is already existing in Slate in our brand hub. And for me, as someone who edits a lot of video, I really like this. I don't want to have to tab switch a whole bunch. I don't want to have to go to Slack to find, a graphic or pull in another clip. And I like that everything just lives right here. In this part of the video, you can actually see that I found a part where I didn't like what Eric was saying, so I took it out, and then I'm just deleting the gap from, the little bit that I wanted to omit. But ultimately, I would say, if I'm being 100% honest, I think I can make a clip from Shortcuts in about 8 minutes. Like I pull it in, I look at it, I do a bit of fine tuning, I add a little hook or something, and then I export it. So and then if I wanted to do additional clips from the same webinar, I'd probably say each additional clip is about like 2 or 3 minutes. And ultimately, that's a pretty fast workflow for me post webinar to get, 3 speaker clips. I can shoot them over to the people who were in our webinars, or I can administer them like internally to like the Christinas and Eric. But I have been using Shortcuts a lot because we exist in B2B, and we do have this long form content that we want to clip into short stuff. That's sort of my favorite or most used feature in a nutshell.
Love it. Super fun. I use Shortcuts all the time just to save my energy through going through like an hour to 45-minute to an hour webinar, and I just like it's just
Totally.
so easy to pull some clips from there.
Yeah.
Sorry, before we moved on, I did want to show, I uploaded it onto Instagram. So what I did was I downloaded it as a JPEG for the carousel, and then you can see here how it kind of interacts with each other. Oh, hello.
Sorry, I'm trying to be a producer and it's not working.
You said the wrong Christina. Anyways, as I'm scrolling through, it's kind of like a hook in a way, because you're like, what's that in the corner? So you want to scroll. And then as you can see, I like added a little shoulder there. So you can see that it's like a continuous carousel.
That's beautiful.
It looks really good, right? And a lot of B2B / even just like people in CPG are using carousels now for retention. And it's a really great way to get people swiping all the way through. It shows people are engaging with your content. Watch time, not watch time. I guess it would be a different term. Do you know what that would be? Linger time, I guess.
Yeah, that's what it is.
But anyways, it's a fun way to make your carousels really exciting and not so stale.
I love it. That's a work of art, honestly. Post it, ship it.
I will.
Oh, dwell time. Marie showed us
dwell time. There it is.
Like, we're just 4 people who work in social media.
As I was saying, I wanted to make one of these dynamic carousels, but my manager, not a social media, did not understand. You just got to show it to her, Tessa. You got to show her what.
True.
It's like.
I do think that if I was like, say I didn't understand, I mean, I suppose I can't put myself in those shoes, but if I didn't understand social media and Pearo just showed me that carousel, I'd be like, wow, this is going in a museum, you know?
And to be honest, can I just be honest with everyone? I'm not a graphic designer. Like
Be honest.
I'm
Yeah.
not a graphic designer, and I actually hate designing things, but having brand assets like already loaded in,
Yeah.
having things like the outline here over to Mika, that was easy to do. I just like used our brand colors for the outline. Our brand guidelines are like only use green with blue, so I was very cognizant about like using those two colors together.
I also think too, even like on the bit that you're saying about like, you know, you're not a designer. The best part is your designer could design templates and graphics for you and then just throw it inside Slate. But then you can further edit it, like whether it's the name or you want to switch out some of the colors or whatever. That's like the locking of the layers and unlocking. But I think it's great because I've worked on teams for a number of years where it's always me and the designer going back and forth where I'm like, this isn't right for social. They're like, well, that's not on brand. And then it's like the battle between the teams, you know, or who can get the content right. And then I don't have like, you know, social moves so fast. I don't have to explain that to anybody here, but we don't have the time to wait 3 weeks for a turnaround on a graphic. You know, we should be able to get speed to feed on just like the basic stuff. So yeah, that's the nice part.
One thing I wanted to say is that I know that there is a lot of pressure, and I'm hearing this on LinkedIn a lot for people, like for teams to show how they're utilizing AI in streamlining some aspect of their workflow. And obviously, marketing teams are feeling the heat of this quite acutely. And so I I hope that my little shortcut demo shows you that it can actually shave some time off. I think there's sometimes like a bit of a broken promise or like the promise of AI is that it's going to save you a lot of time. And then a lot of people are saying like, it's actually not saving me a lot of time. But I will say that Shortcuts is a really good example of the former, the kind that actually saves you time. But in addition to that, I think it can be an easy win for teams where you say like, if you are under pressure to show that you are utilizing AI, this is a really great way to like go to leadership or your manager and be like, yep, I created these 3 clips after our webinar, and, you know, and it's not like you having to Imagineer or vibe code some new app. It's like you're using something that's already baked into Slate.
Also, it's just nice to be able to use AI when it's in the creative space and not have it be like AI generated content. Like I don't need AI to generate videos or pictures for me. You know, I need AI to help me do the annoying task, which is, I think that's like our great philosophy that we follow, where we're like, we don't give a crap about all that Gen AI stuff yet. I mean, if you care about it, no problem there, but there's plenty of tools out there that do that. And I think like when people talk about AI, there's just so much resistance in this creative space because they're always being fed like, here, you can create like a whole talking head and lip dub this entire thing with an AI avatar. And people are like, I don't want that shit. I actually had a company that I partnered with, who I will not name here, where they created an AI avatar of me. And I was like, I'm sorry, is this supposed to look like me? Christina Pearo, you know what I'm talking about because I sent it to you. Yeah. You're like, oh, that could look like you on a really nice day, like if you showered and stuff. And I was like, first of all, but yeah, I just think like, you know, us folks who work in the seat, when we think about AI, that's why we are so resistant to it. But there's another side, which is the Slate side and how we think of AI. And I just rambled on because, you know, Carmen, you brought up a really good point. So I was like, well, I'm tapping in, stealing Eric's time.
But we do have a couple of questions, which I don't know, Eric, what you want to do with those, if you want to get to those after or before.
No, let's get to them now.
The 2 questions are, would Slate make sense for a one-person team? And do you see an impact post performance when using consistent templates and versus new creative ideas?
Cool. I'll start with the first one.
And I can go on the second one if you want.
Yeah, cool. So Slate historically we've been geared more, well, yes, it would help a one-person team. We are sort of like geared more towards what we call like a sophisticated social operation of like, do you have an internal graphic designer at all who cares about like brand style guides? Do you have other marketing folks internally that you need to collaborate with? We don't work with as many, I would say, small businesses because of that, like folks who are like one-person team kind of juggling multiple things, because there is, you know, some of that more custom brand setup that needs to be done up front. And we're kind of positioned more as like a mid-market tool. That said, we do work with a lot of one-person teams, and we set up a lot of one-person teams with smaller contract sizes that meet them where they are. But the big sort of update there is we are going to be releasing a more, creator individual tier of Slate later this year that will be more geared towards, someone who just wants to jump in, try it, pay monthly with a credit card and start using it. So the answer is yes, sort of now, but definitely more in the future. And like, we'd love to talk to you and get you set up and just understand what you need. Because we are kind of spinning out a tier that is going to be geared more towards, individuals than, a full team signing on for a full year.
Yeah. And on the second question around whether or not we see impact on post performance when it comes to consistent templates versus new creative ideas, I think it's a bit of a balance. I think the struggle that we're experiencing before, to take it back to a whole couple of years ago, is that I felt like a lot of brands, when they were showing up online, they were very consistent in the fact of like, this is what our logo, this is the colors that we use, like to that like detail. Whereas now people are thinking more in the social native route, where they're like, I want to create content like, if I'm editing on TikTok, I want to use the TikTok font and everything like that, right? So the pendulum kind of swung the other way, where they went very social native. And I feel like now it's kind of like it's gone so saturated on that side where you can't tell if it's a brand content, it's an individual content, if it's your favorite influencer. You can't tell because everything is in the sea of sameness, basically, right? Which, did that just sound AI? That sounds so AI, me saying that. But it really kind of is, where, I feel like there's no differentiator out there. So I have noticed that there's a lot of brands like Bobby, as an example. There was another brand, Christina and Carmen, you guys brought it up to me, where you were showing an example of how they were showing up consistently on Instagram. It's not M. If you guys remember.
Oh, Monday Girl?
Was it Monday Girl? Yes.
Oh, yes.
Monday Girl?
And I think like there's examples of different ways that they templatize certain like shows or like repeatable content that you can right away almost say, oh, I'm going to stop the scroll because I know this content based on the look and feel of it all. I just got aggressively so full screen. Why was that, Eric? The heck?
We just put up a poll for context as we're talking about this product, because a lot of people are interested. You did want to talk to our team about Slate. This is the poll. So make sure to click yes if you'd like to learn more. Can you all see it on your screen? Can you all interact with this? Yes, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there you go. Okay, nice. So yeah, click yes if you'd like to learn more. And if you hate us, you can also click that option as well. That was there was two options.
Where's the hate part? I'm gonna click on that one.
Okay,
yes, I got it. Thank you.
And sorry, as I'm keeping this poll up, there is one more question from Nancy. Could a one-person freelancer use Slate for different brands and clients? I actually think that's like a really good use case for this. There are also brands like Christina was mentioning that work with like a lot of UGC creators that need access to all these like assets and typographies and fonts and colors. So that would actually be a great way to organize, if you're a freelancer, organize your brands, because there's different collections you can have in the brand hub. You can upload different fonts and colors into them. So that's an option as well, if anybody wants to expand on that, because that is a question we got in.
Yeah, I think that's a great use case. We work with a lot of agencies who use Slate for multiple brands, and we set up kind of a different sort of structure for you based on like the types of brands that, and how many brands that you want to toggle between. And yeah, you can kind of control like you having access to all the brands and then giving access to other individuals for certain sub brands if you had folks at those companies that needed certain levels of access or approvals. So that's definitely a structure we're used to. I'm seeing more questions or at least comments about monthly options and how those would be helpful. Would it be tiered, let's see, in the sense of basic and pro, where pro version would give us all the things if our company were to purchase? Yeah, so we're still trying to figure this out. And like this is the exact, reason we are going in this direction. Like, we understand getting approval, especially for social media folks at companies, is not, we're not given the biggest budgets to spend on tools. And it's easier a lot of times to just start using tools, getting the value out of it, and then showing your company, hey, like this is what I use every day and why. And like, here's why I now need, the more pro package where there's more robust collaboration, maybe more AI features, maybe more brand customization. So that is the idea. Like we're still a tool focused on how businesses and social media managers and professionals use our platform or can create content. And we think that's a huge differentiator from a lot of the tools that are trying to service influencers or your mom like editing something, or like anybody doing any sort of creative work. We're very purpose built for social teams, but we also understand social teams come in like all sizes. There's individuals who need to be able to work with a tier that is maybe more accessible without getting a whole budget approval. And that's kind of what we're building for. Hopefully like later this summer we'll be releasing like this sort of, I don't even know the name of it yet, like whether we call it like individual tier or creator tier. But hit us up, like if you're interested in that, like hit us up now, because I want to talk to you about like what your needs are and why, so we can kind of get you on that early beta of that tier, and even just make sure we're setting it up for what it needs to be. Okay, cool. Anything else before I show 2 upcoming features?
This is what we've all been waiting for. Very exciting.
Okay, well, it's not that exciting because you kind of ruined one of them, stealing a classic Christina Lee joke.
How would you like for me to contact you? Okay, this is I'm throwing up a button here, guys. If you see, are you interested in Slate Let's Chat? Click that button. And then what you can do is you can fill out the form. And maybe in the more section, the notes section, just let them know like your context about who you are, what you're looking for, so that they can tailor the conversation to you. Yeah.
That was my producer role. Did you guys see that? I did that.
That was great work.
Thank you for that.
That was wonderful. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen now.
Yeah, in the anything else section, just make sure that you mention you came from this webinar, you're a solo creator, you're looking to learn more about Slate and the tiered kind of pricing and stuff.
Cool. Okay, so we're here again in the Slate Marketing Team brand hub, where we have all of our creative assets, our fonts, our overlays, our shiny new template for the social club, which we haven't released yet, but this is definitely something that, and it's not, oh, there it is. This is definitely something that you'll see on social soon. Look how good I look. I love being there twice. I should just interview myself for a social club.
Yeah, where did I go?
You got replaced by me. And we're all named Carmen Vicente.
It's subtle foreshadowing for how I'm actually becoming the CEO, but anyways.
Cool. Well, the newest asset type we're releasing in our brand hub is LUTs. So we get a lot of asks for like media presets, like being able to customize media presets, being able to apply certain looks, LUTs, color grading or tones. And yeah, we're excited to be releasing this. Right now, it's only released on our internal account. We actually released it today. It's going to come with a set of stock LUTs that are basically Slate provided, but like everything in Slate, it's customizable to your brand. So you're going to be able to add your own LUTs, create your own LUTs. Again, it's something we could help you with. It's also something, if you do work with a design team or a creative department, they'll be very familiar with and be able to set you up with that. And then, as you might imagine, you'll be able to kind of apply these very easily to any piece of media. And the cool thing about LUTs is they work across video and photo equally. So this will work both on our like web editor here, but also our mobile editor. And you'll be able to kind of apply them like at your own pace. So like in this example, right, like this is the editor, we have all of our borders, our branding, all the stuff that makes up our creative hub. But on this piece of media, in this case, it's a video from Pearo, I'm able to access these LUTs. I actually had this one applied already, so I'm going to take it off. but you can see I can access this Slate warm and then just set the intensity on it. So it makes it really easy to have that sort of consistent look across your videos or photos. And again, here are those stock ones. These are ones you can delete. Like if you don't even want access to the stock ones, again, you can kind of customize this whole experience. But yeah, excited to add this asset type, along with everything else that we have here in Slate. Why are you guys laughing? What's going on? I see you still.
Check the chat.
Jackson.
What's that?
Apparently, I look like Michael Jackson.
She looks like Michael Jackson.
There's a thriller. Here's a thriller.
Oh my gosh.
A thriller lot.
Wow.
Okay, let's get to the next feature, which we're super excited about. This is actually, as you can see in the URL here, our preview stage environment. So this is very, very much in development, not live yet. This is one that no one externally has really seen yet. So we're excited. So I'm here in this testing environment. I have a project here. And I'm going to pull it up and show you our new collaborative features. If anything breaks, this is a dev environment. This isn't real. So it's a risk, but I'm going to try to make it happen. Cool. So I'm in this project, walk and talk video. And what you're seeing now on the top is our new upcoming collaboration features. So you're going to be able to make a project shared amongst your team and send that link around. And we also are going to introduce in context commenting. So you'll be able to leave comments, set things for approval. You'll see here, I could jump over to this comment that I made. I tagged this logo and said, can we change this to the dark logo? I tagged this part of the video and said, this is the wrong spelling, even though it's not. Said the song needs to be changed here. So we hear from so many social teams that they're creating a piece of content, they're dropping it in like a Google Drive, people are commenting on it. You then need to go back to the working file and create version 2, version 3, final approved, all of that stuff, or just jump between 5 different tools, the one that you're editing in and the one that you're getting your approvals in. This is going to consolidate that, right? So, we kind of call this the Frame.io for social media teams. Other things we're going to be adding to this are approval statuses and tags. So you can set different statuses on them, as well as, being able to add tag different users, being able to annotate, being able to, what else, Christina? What did we talk about yesterday? I feel like there was something else that we got up higher up on the roadmap. Maybe it was just the tags.
I think it was just the tagging. Yeah.
Yeah. And then different link permissions. So right now it's going to be private or team, but the ability to set permissions of who on your team you do want to be part of that shared project. And then sort of in your projects brand hub area, this is becoming much more, again, like a DAM for social media teams. So you're going to be able to folder and structure your projects in different ways. And you could save projects in the future as templates. So Christina Pearo made that beautiful carousel example. We can now save that as a template, and instead of going in and kind of messing up her shared project every time, we could use that base to create new projects off of. So this just makes it a lot more robust to be able to come into your Slate account, access all of your media, access all of your working projects, access all of your brand assets, and then start creating content. So yeah, we're really excited to release this V1 of collaboration, where it's going to be, shared working projects with all the commenting and inline commenting. Hopefully in May, might be early June, depending on testing, but we're really close. And this is probably, one of our most requested features. So I'm very excited about that.
Got a good question in, so I'm just posting it here from Jenny. For non-video content, is the idea that Slate could fully replace a team's Canva footprint?
Not just Canva, all of them. Google, Notion, Canva, CapCut, Splice, InShot, whatever product that you are using right now to create content, we're going to replace. So
instead of paying for seats for all of those things, for all of your team members, for pro seats, you can pay for one kind of platform.
If you need me to sell it to your boss, I can, with threats.
We have another question here from John about shared projects. For commenting, assuming those without Slate accounts won't be able to make comments. This is for, I guess, clients. I mean, if you're sending things to clients.
Yeah, it's a really good question. In the very, very first version, it will be Slate accounts. So it'll prompt them to create an account, but we will have sort of like free seats for commenters. But it's something in the future iteration, we will just have them put in their name, probably have to just like put in their name and email. But we want to reduce the friction for commenting because we know, there's sometimes you want to send something for someone for approval and feedback who isn't necessarily part of your team and isn't necessarily someone who you need or want to be within your Slate account. So yes, in the future, that is definitely going to be possible. I'd say the first version we're releasing in May won't have that yet.
Great. Does anyone else have any final comments or questions about the platform? What's coming up? Anything that you saw here today that you're more curious about? Obviously, you can always talk to our team about it. I'm going to throw this up again if you missed this link the first time. But if you are curious, like, we're happy to talk with you. DM us on LinkedIn. But yeah, like someone from our team can dig into how this could work for your brand specifically. If you have like a niche brand and you're not sure how Slate can fit in, we can talk to you about it and kind of like tailor that conversation.
I had just one more question. I wanted to know a little bit more about that painting behind Eric. Could you explain the significance?
I too am curious.
Yeah, my grandpa painted that actually.
Oh shit. Whoa. Okay. So, bit of an artist.
Did you just roll your eyes?
Sad.
No, not at all. I'm like, this is genuine. You know me. I'm impressed. I like.
He passed away like 5 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
And you're gonna roll your eyes?
I'm not rolling my eyes. I never rolled my eyes. I'm saying that's beautiful art.
Yeah, my grandpa painted it. It's cool. It's kind of like, is it mountaintops? Is it the ocean?
Oh, I thought it was sheep.
Sheep.
I
I'll bring it closer.
I think you need to put your glasses on, Christina.
They are in my. Oh, okay. Yes. Okay, I see closer.
Oh.
Yeah.
It looked like a beach.
I think it's like some tectonic plates. That's my guess.
Tectonic plates. So like mountains.
Earth's crust.
Right.
Rocks in a sunset, says Nancy. That also sounds really beautiful too. Wow.
Yeah.
It's up to our interpretation. It seems.
That is art.
Wow.
Wow. What a good way.
Wow, I'm dead.
Finish our chat.
Can you end, Pearo, with impressions of all of us?
Oh, yeah. Mine's.
So I have this thing where I like have really nailed down some impressions. I think more so Eric and Carmen. Christina's a little weird, but I'll start with Eric's. Bye, everybody. It was really nice to have you on this call today and join us for our social club happening on May 13th. We have an awesome panel. It's going to be great. Okay, so that's Eric.
That's so funny.
And then this is that's so funny.
So funny. That's and then so this is funny.
Carmen. And I am going to be moderating that chat, and I think it's going to be a good one. So make sure to join us on May 13th. We'll send you an email so you can register.
Emphasis on the blinking. The problem is I blink when I think, and I'm thinking a lot. So
and then Christina is like, join us, or I'll crap my pants. I don't know, something like that about, some bodily fluid.
That's so true.
But May 13th, everyone, I wish I had the link set up, but we will email you, like I said, with the recap video and the link to our social club webinar with Michael Corcoran from Slice Social Consultancy. We have Katie from Apollo, a B2B amazing brand, joining us. And then we also have Jade Powell, who coined the term briefcase app.
Love it.
And as a content creator and someone who's been working in social for a long time, we're going to talk about the role of the social media manager and how it's been transformed over the last few years. So join us for that. Stay tuned.
All of you give a shit like me.
Yeah.
Join the webinar. It's going to be so cool.
So funny.
Okay, guys.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Toodaloo.
Bye.
Bye.